Navigating the holiday festivities is always a bit treacherous, but it doesn't have to be this way because when you optimize your fat metabolism, you can navigate the holidays with aplomb and without stress. Today, we're going to talk about the concept of feasting and fasting rather than the commonly held notion of feast or famine. Now, for those of us who are health conscious, navigating the holiday festivities is always a bit tricky and treacherous. And it really doesn't have to be this way because when you optimize your fat metabolism, you can actually navigate the holidays with aplomb and without stress. And the reason for this is because the holidays actually offer me a great opportunity to discuss a long-standing thought or hypothesis I have about our evolutionary heritage, which is the concept of feasting and fasting, rather than the commonly accepted notion that our ancestors regularly went through cycles of feast and famine. I disagree with this feast and famine notion for the most part. And sure, let me qualify it. There were isolated periods where geographical regions had catastrophic weather events where the biological cycle of life was severely disrupted from its normal cycle. And this caused a famine for all species. But for the most part, geographical regions had consistent cycles of weather and had consistent cycles of all forms of life, including humans. And we adapted and we populated them in a natural balance. Or we ended up migrating to another region where there was better carrying capacity, often with other species. So while I'm not saying feast and famine did not exist, I am saying it was not the norm. Feasting and fasting are the norm. Humans, being the clever creatures that we are, figured out really early on where the stable food sources were available. We had to, and this is why we've thrived as a species. If famine were the norm, we would never have gotten to where we are today. The seasons and spoilage in pre-agricultural times dictated that stable food was found in the great ruminant herds and fisheries. They don't call it livestock for nothing, because prior to and after domestication of ruminants as our main food source, these are food sources you can literally bank on. But there's a catch. Whether hunting or herding, harvesting animals is hard work, and it requires a lot of time and a lot of physical effort. In effect, it's an endurance event combined with sporadic surges of high intensity and resistance. Fortunately, even today, pockets of nomadic herders and hunter-gatherers exist to show us how nature, when left alone, achieves the balance. And that balance, for us humans, is one of feasting and fasting. We can easily mimic this cycle in our daily lives during the holidays to control our appetite and weight gain. When fat adapted, this takes minimal effort, but it is important to be aware of the following things when you're fasting. So I'm going to give you a few fasting tips. So 1, formulate a strategy of engagement in your life during the fasting periods so you're fully engaged mentally and emotionally, so you forget you're hungry, right? And incorporate into that engagement regular physical activities. Get away from the desk and work out a little bit. And this signals physical activity energy demand. And this will keep your body turning up your metabolism rather than turning down that biological thermostat. Number 2, stay hydrated and satiated. Now, OFM allows for those minimal calories found in broth, stock, V8, or Vespa to stay hydrated and satiated to make fasting seamless. And number 3, incorporate fasting physical activity into your regular fasting cycles. This not only helps attenuate hunger during and after your workouts, but leverages the protein assimilation when you're feasting. And here's a pro tip. What most people don't realize is physical activity accelerates the fasting cycle, thus shortening the fasting window while leveraging the feasting window. Now on the flip side, there is the feasting, which should be fully enjoyed, stress and guilt-free, with friends, co-workers, and family. Again, a little bit of guidance makes all the difference to empower you to enjoy life to the fullest. Once again, make sure your hydration is on point. Appetizer foods like olives, pickles, cheeses, or cured meats with your spirits while engaging with others is a great strategy at these festivities to start off any holiday event. Number 2, allow yourself to engage fully and enjoy the holiday gatherings, as removing stress attenuates one of the most primal survival instincts, hunger. Ironically, stressing about your food only heightens your craving for it. And 3, avoid the carby and sweet foods and treats initially. Consume non-starchy vegetables, protein, and fat-rich foods slowly and in moderation during the main meal. Save the carbs and sweets for later, when the drive to overconsume has virtually been eliminated to the point where a bite is more than satisfying. As you can see, when you are optimizing your fat metabolism, you come back into balance with your evolutionary heritage of feasting and fasting, so that you can fully enjoy the holiday feasts in alignment with your native physiology and live life to the fullest. Enjoy.